All right, this is a video I've wanted to do for a little while now. This is actually taken, these shots were taken from season 1.5. I wanted to watch from the perspective of my toxic teammate and compare it to my perspective. So that way you could sort of see the difference between a toxic player's mindset and how they play, and then my style and the sort of mentality that I try to push for you guys, and see sort of the difference, right? And see sort of like which game you'd rather be playing, right? Because I'm not saying that my way is the only way to play. I try to be efficient and try to win as many games as I can, and do so with as climb the rank with as few games needed as possible. At some point, in some way, this guy was able to climb to the same rank as me. He found his own play style, even if it took more games. But I want to show you sort of the difference, so you can kind of see for for your own eyes, which one looks like more fun to you, and also why. I tend to mute out those people who are the most vocal in my games and complaining the most, because they always tend to have the most amount of mistakes and are unaware or unable to see their own mistakes. So that being said, we're going to jump right into this Star Lord. I've hidden everybody's names here, just so that way nobody gets harassed. Toxic player here is player 5. I am player 3 is Cap. And yeah, we're just going to jump right into this one. So immediately he uses a bunch of cooldowns behind cover. He takes a bunch of damage. He takes a bunch of damage out in front, eating up both of Adam's heals. He then jumps outside the LOS of his supports. He dies immediately in less than 20 seconds. He reses and fires his E out in the open, dies with his right click still up by, once again, using that ability out in the open. He dies twice in the first 30 seconds, right? So he's coming back from spawn. Now he's coming back, and because of the fact that, like, if you've watched my videos, you've heard me talk about numbers advantage. Once you lose a player, your team turns to get run over. So I'm still alive, mind you. He comes out and decides that he wants to change heroes, and he decides to kill himself. But now he staggers himself even harder. So now recontesting is going to be even more difficult as he comes back to the fight even later. And because of the fact that he switches to a more, it's going to take him even longer to get back to the point to recontest it. And like I said, mind you, he said it was due to a lack of tank presence, the reason why he was struggling. And I want to point out that I am Captain America, still holding this first point, right? He has died 3 times, and I have died 0, right? He comes out, he throws squids immediately in front of the entire enemy team, and of course, they just get immediately destroyed, because that's what happens when you are throwing your squids in bad locations. He takes a bunch of damage. This fight is clearly over, and he backs out, gets to safety, and then walks back into the enemy team with 34 health, and of course, and predictably dies. Now, mind you, the enemy team also had him on the game previously, and they were talking smack to him because they blamed him for their loss, and they're not entirely wrong. But you're going to see him occasionally stop to type to them, like right here. Stopping to type again. Instead of playing the game, he's typing to the enemy. And here's me still alive, by the way. I'm trying to body block to keep them inside. And now, here he's just spamming damage at nothing. He bubbles with 8 health and then immediately pops his own bubble instead of staying in it to get healed, and then dies again. He's stopping to type. He uses his bubble in the spawn, which is his one defensive ability that he uses to keep himself alive. It's very crucial that you not waste your defensive ability on the characters like this, because if you get spawn camped, you're gonna die. And spoiler alert, he gets spawn camped. So, not having learned his lesson at all, he uses his bubble again in spawn, stops to type again, and walks forward. And now, of course, I'm finally dead. And because of the fact that he doesn't have his defensive ability and he stopped to type, he's caught off guard and he dies again. Now, this is them capping the second point, right? He has died 7 times, right? And I've died twice. And he's, of course, claiming that, oh, I'm dying because there's a lack of tank presence. Uh, this guy was toxic all game. He was talking smack to every one of us, and it was very difficult. We were playing a 5v6 the entire game. It th He took no responsibility for any of his mistakes, right? Uh, he was absolutely convinced that nobody else, was doing anything and that, everything wasn't his fault, right? Now I'm gonna show you my perspective as I took DPS from him, and tried to at least try to win this game. So on offense here, I immediately check the corners to make sure I'm not getting flanked. I'm looking around to see if there's anybody around. The enemy player is now typing to him, so I get a free execute. And now that we have the advantage, I'm trying to see if we can hold on to it. I see the supports. I'm trying to pressure and push them back. I miss the magic, and I get pushed out by her. I try to contest this space to keep the magic from flanking in on my team. We lose one. It's fine. I'm going to try and get an angle on the back here. I see Cloak and Dagger at the back, so I'm shooting her because they're not going to be looking at her. I see that my team is falling over and we're losing space, so I plan to get out of there to sort of regroup with my team. I see my team, and I'm noticing that, of course, they're all respawning, so I'm waiting. I'm not pushed up too far because I don't want to risk dying and staggering myself even harder right now. So now I'm getting into a position to try and get the flank. As my team engages, I will engage at the same time. Now that my team is starting to get their attention, I get topped off by my supports because I stand still and I wait for them. I get the flank on the back here. I miss some of my shots. I try to get the execute. It doesn't work. My teammates start falling over again. There's not much I can do because we're just at a numbers disadvantage, so I'm going to get back to safety and regroup where my team is. I see Magic come through here, and I lure her into a little duel, and I take her out. Now, knowing we have the advantage, I try to go back out to flank, but Hell is there contesting that space. I stay alive. I come back out. I see Mag is way overextended, so I apply a bunch of pressure to him, so he dies for it. And now that they're on the defensive, knowing that they're still waiting for players to come back, I try to apply a bunch of pressure. I can't kill that Cloak with the Luna ult going off, so now I'm just trying to wait. I see Star-Lord ulting, and I'm applying damage as long as I can do so safely. But I always am staying near cover, and I knew that that doorway was there available to me, so I could get to safety if I had to. And now, I know that Cloak still has her ult up, so I have to be mindful of that. I'm trying to apply pressure with my team, but I don't like that angle. So I'm going to take this angle up here and get an off angle on them. I go from the backside, and I pop my ult. We end up getting 2 picks out of it. I see Hela up here, and I contest this space. She's low. She ends up dying. And now we are pushing the cart pretty safely. I am now trying to put 3 on just so that way hopefully we cap it faster. Strange was the former Namor Star-Lord player. Trying to apply damage before they come out. I get out and get away from that ult. I know Luna doesn't have ult, so I want to try and kill her before she gets it back up. She dies. And now we get executes on the rest of them. And now I go for cleanup and staggers as Cloak and Dagger is there. And we get an easy kill. Now, this is me. I only recorded the first point because there's no point in going on even longer about this. This is what I really want to illustrate to you guys, right? My play style is I'm not looking to see what my teammates could be doing for me. I'm looking to see how I can play the game in my own way. I'm not relying on my teammates. If they help me, great. But I'm playing around the idea that they might not be able to help me, right? Which play style, if you were looking to see like which character or which person you'd rather be, which person would you rather be, person A or person B, right? That's what I mean. The toxic people, the people who are the most chatty, the people who are blaming their teammates, that's person A. Those are that's why I don't listen to them. That's why I mute them in game. That's why to me, it's just whatever they say doesn't matter. I'm not focused so much on what my teammates should be doing for me. I'm just trying to play my game and do what I can to bring value. If I recognize that I'm not bringing value, I'll switch it up and I'll make that decision. But I don't want anybody to fall under the mindset of just blaming your teammates, right? When I'm trying to tell you guys like, oh, hey, stand still to like make heals easier for your teammates, try to position around cover, manage your cooldowns. I'm trying to teach you how to play in a way where you're always mindful of like what you can be doing to be a better player, right? Because if you do that, you're alive a lot more, you can provide a lot more value. Being alive more often means you can play the game more, right? I don't want you guys to get your 10K steps in running from spawn over and over again. I want you guys to be active and playing the game all the time. So anytime, you are listening to somebody start chatting to you over mic or start blaming you in game, don't get tilted, right? Just mute them both with voice and text right away. As soon as they start to get too annoying and too negative, just mute them. Mute them and keep playing your game, right? Because those players, they're not going to improve. They're going to hit their cap, and then they're going to have those violent like they're going to have violent win streaks, violent loss streaks, and then they're going to go to Reddit and they're going to blame engagement based matchmaking or inflation or it's the season or dive or whatever else, right? Those players will always have excuses, right? But for me, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I have consistently climbed without much trouble in every season so far. And the reason why is because as the game changes, I adapt with those changes. I'm not blaming my teammates for not playing, the same way that I want them to play. I'm adapting to the new situations and the new environment, and that's what I want you guys to do as well. So that's all I really got to say on this. I hope this helps illustrate like why having a good mindset is important and why focusing on your own gameplay matters. Because the moment you start focusing more on what your teammates should be doing for you, the more you start to lose sight of where you could improve. Right? Don't don't be like player A. Don't be like the Star Lord anymore, right? Be your own player, focus on your game and focus on where you can improve because the more you focus on learning, both win or lose in every one of your games, the better you're going to get and the easier games you're going to get and the more you're going to have more fun. So, yeah, always do that. Always focus on what you can be doing better because it's not the game, it's not the matchmaking, it's not your teammates. There's always something that you can be doing better. And you just have to figure out what that is. And luckily, I have a lot of videos to help with that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching this one, guys.